Hey guys, welcome to Southern Thrill Outdoors. This is our first in a series of videos that I'm going to do about food plots in Florida, in Central Florida. The property that I'm on is a little over 1,000 acres, and we have mainly pine plantation, cypress hammocks, and some oak heads. So there are really very little areas that you can be able to get heavy equipment in, tractors and big diskers to be able to do food plots. There are some areas that we can put in that we'll visit that a buddy has a Ground Max disker that he pulls behind his ATV. Works pretty good. The area that I'm doing a food plot at here today, I worked on it last year. I'm probably going to about triple the size of it. I did it all by hand, just with the weed eaters and with a brush blade and then regular line, and spraying it with Roundup or glyphosate, and just keep working it down until you get a good seed bed. We've already done our soil test to test our alkalinity of our soil, and most pine plantations are fairly acidic. The seed that we chose has been designed for acidic soils. Ours is slightly acidic, so I did add a little bit of lime to it. Where I'm at, my soil is fairly sandy. I will, even though I'm well within my range for the seed that I use, I will add a little bit of lime to it. So we're gonna clear some areas out and put some Roundup down. So we'll be back. Okay guys, the weed eating is done. I got my buddy Tom over there. He's putting some Roundup down. Another thing you can use besides Roundup, it's the same thing, it's called glyphosate. And if you have one of these bulk backpack sprayers, it makes it a lot easier, because we're probably several hundred yards or further from the truck. So the most you can mix up, if you got to go travel, think about your water and mixing up your Roundup, whatever you're doing. But I'm basically using just a Craftsman home weed eater, and I had a little steel blade on there that you can interchange, and just to take that big thick grass down. And the Roundup will knock a lot of it down. It usually takes a few trips to come in to get it down to that seed bed, because I'll come back in after this is dead, weed eat it, rake up a lot of the dead material off to the side, and then just keep working on it until I get down to that dirt. And that's what I did on this other section. So a little winded. It's hard work swinging that back and forth. This I'm just going to weed eat with a regular the weed eater line. Take that down, and we're going to round up that also. Okay, so I finished knocking all of this down with the weed eater of the old food plot, and I decided to go ahead and we're going to round up it and just kill it all and start out fresh, just for you guys that might be interested in seeing how it turns out, you know, completely new. So I may have mentioned earlier, you know, we have access to you know, big tractors, and we have a disc that you can pull behind a four-wheeler, but that's not ideal for this area here, mainly because, well, partly because it's tight to make turns with those, and the main reason is because, like I said earlier, this was part of an older field that had been clear cut, so there's a lot of old stumps that are still left in this area that would make it really impossible to come in with an ATV, you know, disker, and being able to till this up, you know, safely without damaging the equipment. So it's been knocked down. Like I said, I about wanted to triple the size of what I had before. It's rounded up, and it will I'll come back in a week or two and This will probably be pretty brown. And what I typically do is weed eat it again, and just keep, and maybe spray it again and keep knocking it down until there's really no more growth. So it takes a few trips to work on it, a little bit of sweat equity, but like I said, it turned out good last year. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll also go take a look at the food plot in a little bit that Tom had. He has that implement for an ATV is called a Ground Hog Max. And it worked really good. It tore up and chewed up the ground really well. He had to make some modifications to it for his particular ATV, but it worked well. But like me, he didn't really do much to the food plot or mow it down, but he still has chicory. So we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, we're at the second food plot that I told you about. This is my buddy Tom's food plot, and this is what it looks like after having not done anything to it for a year. It's very overgrown, what's left of it. There still is some chicory here, and this is what the chicory looks like. So when this food plot was at its best, it was just one beautiful carpet of it, and so we should have mowed it, you know, earlier in the year to maintain it, but I think it just gets knocked down from the heat, even though it's a perennial, and it may come back. So I think what we're going to do is just mow this, and we'll have to make a decision on whether or not we're going to take it all the way down and reseed. All right, guys, after doing some weed eating in here, we're not finding much chicory left over. So Tom has made the decision that he's going to knock it all down and disc it in and replant. It's pretty thick and we're not seeing anything in here. Now we might be making a mistake. This chicory may just be dormant right now and come out a little later as we get closer to the fall and the winter. But for our seasons, by that time, archery season is already over. And our general gun season is starting at the beginning of November. So we're running out of time. So in a couple weeks we'll be coming in. We got a guy with a tractor coming in, bush hogging our roads. We have a work day where we're cleaning up around the whole east, cleaning up camp. So those times we'll be coming in and also doing some work on our plots here. So you know, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.